I think we can safely say the people who made this we're attempting to create viruses in any kind of realistic way.
Yeah. Viruses and spores are two different things.
Okay, shall we?
Let's get it on!
Okay. Hi, folks.
Hello, Poppets.
Howdy, y'all.
And welcome to Muppets, Sex, and Trauma. I'm Sara Ezzat. I make the Costume Codex videos on YouTube.
And I'm Jack Kramme, editor / right-hand man for Passion of the Nerd and editor for Chipperish Media.
And I'm Josh Gosdin, and I think I'm the Muppets in Muppets, Sex, and Trauma.
And that's enough. More than enough.
I love this man. I say it every episode, but I love this man.
Okay, and we are here today to talk about A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life was written by Douglas Hayes Jr., who we've seen before writing Till the Blood Runs Clear, and Jeremiah Crichton. And Tony Tilsley. This is his fourth time at the director's chair. We've seen him in PK Tech Girl, Till the Blood Runs Clear, and Dargo Returns. We open with a team of peacekeepers on the way, but don't worry, Crichton has a cunning plan.
I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
Butch is back, but this time with an accent.
What are you doing aboard my vessel?
Because he and Aaron are going to cosplay. They're going to be peacekeepers out in the uncharted territories for some Leviathan experimentation and a little light prison shipping. Hopefully the PKs just need to fix their leaking ship and then we'll be off, so Zahn, Rigel, and a very reluctant Dargo have agreed to be locked in the cells and cosplay as prisoners for the duration.
Barely.
But the Peacekeeper Commander Larac has other ideas.
I'll give you a set of coordinates to a base. We can be there in 20 hours.
And after a standoff with hella sexual tension on all sides, Crichton agrees to take Larac and his red shirts to the base. Oh, and there's one more thing. They have some cargo. A single crate which contains something important, but he won't say what.
Secret. Need to know only.
Aaron and Larac get down to some serious flirting. Like, seriously vibing. While John checks in on the rest of the crew. Except Rigel and Shiana, who of course, there's something valuable on board. There's a box, they have to open it. See if there's anything worth snatching.
Snatch? I don't snatch. I procure.
And it's a little alien guy. But he's got a toy surprise inside. It's a body-snatching virus. A smart, sentient body-snatching virus. It jumps from the little alien guy into one of the red shirts, kills another, and then into Chiana, just as Larac, Aaron, and Crichton arrive. We get a tense exposition scene where we learn all about the smart body-snatching sentient virus, and how it hops from body to body by contact. It cannot reinfect a host, it leaves no memory of its presence, it leaves a raised acid level, and if it stays in one person for more than an hour, we will make spores and everybody dies. Currently they think it's in Rigel, who scarpered when the sentient smart body-hopping virus arrived. We know it's in She. At least for a while they search the ship for Rigel and zap him with a stasis gun. But then things get a bit hot, and the smart, sentient, body-hopping virus body-hops into Crichton. Crichton's still doing his accent, but now he seems a bit giddy? Drunk? He follows one of the red shirts into the maintenance bay, where she attempts to mix an antidote. Giddy virus John then brutally kills the lady peacekeeper and smashes the stasis gun. Meanwhile, Zahn uses her convenient bed linen to determine that Chiana has been infected and not Rigel. And everyone rushes to the maintenance bay at once, where virus John just kind of touches up everyone. And now the whole crew, Larac and his last remaining red shirt, are in a 7-way standoff with guns.
When they were having their 9-way standoff or whatever it was at the end.
John,
I was just having a good time, man.
Things are tense, but everyone agrees to let Zahn finish the antidote. She tests it on herself, and then the others one by one until we are left with Dargo and Larac. As John tests Dargo, Larac takes off, shoots his last red shirt, and grabs Aaron. Larac and Crichton have another standoff with Aaron between them. Virus Larac tells her how much real Larac really liked her. And then the bastard stabs Aaron in the back and makes a run for it. With a look at Aaron, John takes off after him, but Lirac is taken off in the Marauder. You know, the one with the fuel leak from earlier? John tells Pilot to starburst in place. There's a flashy light and... dead smart, sentient body-snatching virus. Later, as Rigel is thawing out and Dargo's taking another bow, John watches over recovering Aaron. He tells her Lirac is dead, and she's lucky. He missed her heart.
Closer than you think.
Okay, so what do you think?
It was terrible.
I didn't love this one, but I didn't hate it either.
Yeah.
Is what I'm gonna say.
He
we'll get
so
into it, but
so bad.
for me, it's just
stepped on
I've
the
seen the
screen
story
and he was like,
done before,
and
I've seen it done a lot better than it's done here. Although there is a lot of good stuff in this episode, and I'm not going to spend the next hour crapping on it.
Ben Browder, man. It reminded me of Chris Pine doing an American, doing a terrible World War I German in Wonder Woman. Like, just doing all of the stereotypes, but it was just so cheesy. And it worked, Lieutenant.
Yeah, I enjoy this one for the moment-to-moment stuff. I know the plot's been done better, but particularly I just love the, hella sexual tension. Like, they are flirting up the place. All three of them are flirting up the place, like anything. It's like... Also, this episode has a very illustrious moment of bringing in a important new character, which is John's leather pants.
Marcia did it first. Yeah.
John.
So the jacket doesn't stick around, but the pants stick around.
Okay. He comes out looking like frickin' Star-Lord, man. And then he's dressed as Star-Lord and doing a Picard impression is how I interpret it. He's just like dialing in his best Patrick Stewart, and I loved that. Like the accent was terrible, but
and Rigel frustrated.
But I love it so much. I love it because it's terrible. But I think that's by design. It's meant to be terrible.
Potential peacekeeper plot to make a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they were like indirectly responsible for the deaths of 5 people.
Yeah, that was Ben Browder's own creation, and it is rather delightful. Apparently, also, it was his ad lib of cats and dogs living together.
Before Chiana popped in, while Rigel was like, hovering, I thought that she was part of Crichton's plan to like figure out what the peacekeepers are doing there and why they were there. But then when she was just rolling with it, and she was like, we can split it, we can take half, you can take half.
And the funny you should compare him to Star-Lord, but because of course James Gunn took a lot of inspiration from Crichton.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I thought she was doing that on Crichton's orders,
which is part of why Ben Browder is in the second movie.
And I thought that was going to be the reveal.
He's one of the golden people.
No, she was just greedy.
Is he? Oh, I had no idea. No idea.
Yeah, as you're gonna, there are a few times you're gonna be like, wait, that feels familiar. Yeah, that's because this is where a lot of the inspiration came from. Yeah, but hey, the great ones steal. So,
of course, everything is inspired by something else.
Exactly. So, where shall we begin? Character developments. I think we get some fun Chiana here. Any thoughts on Chiana?
I don't have any specific thoughts. Josh?
Yeah, both of you have cursed me. I will never be able to unsee that. Thank you. Stop.
Well, yeah. It was essentially like Rigel's greed that sort of triggered it, and Chiana a little bit, but I think Rigel was already gonna do what he was gonna do before Chiana rocked up.
don't let Chiana off the hook. She's the one who took an impression of the key.
Yeah.
Thank you. Me neither, man. And now, like, Chiana's going to be coming on the screen, and I'm going to be like,
one realization I had
Sara.
on Chiana in this episode, and this is just a general thing. Something about her feels very, very familiar, and I'm like, wait, hang on. She reminds me very much of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Very the physicality, the way she moves, even like the way she like speaks and stuff. And I kind of love that.
Yeah, I think they both definitely take inspiration from Cats, and I think also from, in her case, I think a bit from the musical Cats. Not the Fever Dream evil music, but film. The actual like modern dance performance thing.
Well, actually, Chiana's costume looks like it could have come out of Cats the musical, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you address that?
It was baffling. The only other film I've been that baffled by was Jesus Christ Superstar. That was baffling too. I'm like, what is going on and why? What?
We've got to do more of those. Me making you watch entirely baffling films.
It was fun. It was fun.
Which is entertaining as an event, and it's frustrating as a character. I'm interested in Chiana's growth and development at this point. I've yet to see much.
I never want to watch Cats again. Like if you make me watch Cats, I'm quitting. Okay.
Don't want to exploit me, and like, some insight into her character that we got in the primary colors episode, but.
I mean,
I didn't feel like there was a lot of growth from Chiana's episode, and I'm not entirely certain that she learned.
Sorry. It's so easy to leave. Oh my god! I can so see. I can see Chiana. No, that's not odd.
But I think she's got a sort of quality of the Mumple teaser, the Rumple teaser. The two little ones that do all the thieving. The two little ones that do all the thieving, and I am thinking about the actual stage one which is modern dance, which is she comes from a more dance and sort of acrobatics background, so it does make sense that she has her particular kind of movement.
Mortal Terror side, yeah.
But like she is very much a rogue and a brat, and so she is. If you present these two with a locked box and no idea what's in it, this is what happens. Somebody's gotta snatch, or as Rigel says, procure. I don't snatch. I procure. This is my very bad Rigel impression.
She reminds me of the kind of person who, if she sees a sign saying "Do not press this button," she will press it. Like she sees a shiny red button and it says "Do not press."
She will press it until something happens.
Exactly. She's yeah.
Yes.
See,
The devoted fan base that I'm aware that Chiana has tells me the answer is no, that's not all she is. But right now,
I'm not sure there was a lot of growth from any of the characters. I think what this episode was doing in a lot of ways was sort of reestablishing where we're at. Yeah. You know, who everyone is and where everyone comes from. We take the characters back to their basics, back to being locked up, Aaron back to being a peacekeeper. And
I think it was also a bit of like a breather episode as well. Just to
that didn't bother me so much because they hardly
let
know
everybody
her.
breathe
so
and just
they might not necessarily be able to pick up on Chiana's acting funny because so far, so far
we are about to launch into the
instance of Chiana is
climax of the season.
Okay. One of the I don't know if issues is the right word, but the thing with characters like Chiana, the brats, the mischievous types, is that they end up being, and I'm gonna steal a line from my dear friend Lani Dian Rich here, but they can sometimes end up being like conflict vending machines, because they do something stupid or reckless, and boom, we have an issue. We have a problem. Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can just become very predictable. Like, I guarantee, like, I would be willing to bet money that that's going to happen several times throughout the series.
Yeah, well, the point is not. It's okay if somebody has to spit out conflict or inspire conflict in a show like this. But the question is that all their character is? And
right.
Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In this episode, her and Rigel both together play the let's start some shit.
I was also surprised that she was able to convince everybody that she wasn't the infected one. Like, that was way too easy. Like, they let her off the hook there. Well, it wasn't her; it was the virus.
So
but
I really like the payoff.
it just seemed too easily.
Way back,
like she convinced them too easily. I think
what the clavicle looks for, and I really like the payoff of getting to see those in gruesome action in this episode. Like, that made my clavicles twinge.
I just thought they would have been a lot more suspicious than they were. I think, just in general.
Really,
I think if Rigel had stuck around, it would have been. They would have been like, But because Rigel just ran away, which is a great way of getting the most out of, like, using less of the puppet. Is to have situations like this, like, okay, you get to use him effectively and less. So I think because he's just not there, they sort of get it into their heads. Oh, we got to find the guy, and you can see, like, just as they're starting to get suspicious, we've got her sneakily. We've got Virusy sneakily jumping from her to John.
Yeah, and it does. I guess it also does make logical sense that one would assume that the virus would enter a host and then run away and try and hide somewhere. That does make sense.
Contextualizes all the time.
Yeah, especially to people who are hunting it.
I'll never be captured again. But really,
it knows the Rack and his team a lot better than it knows. Our crew.
It narrowed it down to a very specific.
So, any thoughts on Zahn and Dargo?
That he was able to pay off this episode. He didn't get back in.
Not really. To be honest, I don't have a lot of, like, specific character stuff except for Aaron to mention. But Josh,
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And which is why, like, it makes total sense that he was like, I'm not getting back in chains. I don't care what you want or what happens here. I'm just not doing it. And that makes so much sense. That's a trauma response, I think. Yeah.
He's always saying, I'm not going to be locked up again. In fact, in this one, he says, I'm not going to be locked up again. And then, like, a few seconds later, he's locked up again. But at least he's taking out the chains because, oh, God.
But when he's treated like an animal, he responds in kind. This might be the most ferocious that we've gotten him at in several episodes. Like, thinking back to gosh, the one where I can't remember the name of it. The one with the two dog dudes and your favorite comedian. Thank you. Okay, so that makes sense then. That we got hardcore Dargo, we got ferocious Dargo.
Yeah.
Just like we got then and effective Dargo in like a combat scenario, but also like or re-traumatize Dargo.
Yeah, and while I think it's kind of, I'm somewhat amused by his constant, I shall never be captured, I'm captured.
Yeah, it's very, it's bravado, it's this, yeah.
This sort of amuses me in a sort of a Looney Tunesy kind of way, but also, like, there is also a trauma story there of, you keep going, I'm not gonna let this happen, fuck.
Also, him being so fiery and over the top in general allowed him to, like, he sold the ruse better than anyone. Like, he was so believable, and that was, I think, it's just because he's just an angry, pissed off dude,
But there is so much more to him than that.
Of course, yeah. But that is definitely like a part of who he is, though. He's a warrior.
But now we've seen a bit more of his softer, sweet side, and then in this one we see the peacekeepers treating him like an animal.
Yeah.
Which is difficult, I find. That's my big Dargo himbo.
Yeah, I don't think I realized it was the first time he killed, but I could definitely see how it was weighing on him. And Shionna's little moment of compassion was nice too. But I really like John this episode. I like Guile John. And again,
Till the Blood Runs Clear, which was also written, which was written and directed by the same team as this one.
Because he's such a
well, there we go.
Film and TV buff. He was doing like Lieutenant, or some World War II film that he grew up on, or something like that. Yeah. But
so, John,
it was fun this episode.
Yes, I'm making you wait to get there.
John,
I got a very
hilarious this whole episode.
Like, kind of like
he like we already talked about that accent, man. I loved it, and it was
that was such an action hero, John.
I don't think he's ridiculous the whole episode, because this episode has an important mark for John.
Okay.
Even though he's possessed, this is the first time John kills.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't.
And you see just how that lands for him when he realizes what his body did, because he wasn't in control of it. And then he also directly causes Lorac's death as well by doing the whole starbursty thing with Chekhov's leaking fuel line.
Yeah, I the significance of that I completely didn't realize until you mentioned it just now. Yeah.
Well, and that murder was fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like, he beat her skull 3 times. And just just the way that he slammed her down on the table, it was
I'd be willing to bet that he was at least partly inspired by Patrick Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
It was rough, man. Yay!
Yeah. Yes. That's what I loved about it. It was like blowing up and igniting the cesium fuel. It was like a John McClane thing to do. You know, like, I thought it was really badass. And yes, he killed someone, but this was a peacekeeper captain.
With the body just on the floor.
Yes, I like that we do see him sort of reveling in it, because he's killing. The virus has to go,
Zon and step around it. But also I think brain matter on the table.
When he tells Aaron that Lorac died, I think we get a sort of recognition of that he feels it.
Murder, am I right?
And I think too often in sci-fi, too often in action-oriented stuff, People just kill indiscriminately and don't.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It has no meaning.
And so having him, acknowledge it or struggle with it, it sort of grounds it a little more, I think.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no rubber neck snapping. There was.
That's the first scene that's ever made me wince in this series so far. I think. Yeah.
It will not be the last.
Reminds me of in Jason X. There's this scene where Jason freezes someone's head in liquid nitrogen and then just smashes it on a bench. It kind of made me think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Gianna and John recognizing it, that it's there, and Gianna commenting on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of giggling at you being, golly!
You say it all the time, a middle-aged man in a 30-year-old's body.
That's just kind of adorable. I don't think I've ever heard anyone outside of old TV
by golly
say golly.
Nothing but love, Josh. Nothing but love, man.
Okay, so I've made you wait long enough. Let's talk about Aaron.
Aaron. So I thought she was playing the Lyric, but Larak. Sorry, yeah, Larak. I thought she was mostly playing him, but then we get that moment where it's like, I'd like to have you nearby or something, and everything from the performances to the dialogue to the score makes me go, oh no, wait, she's actually enticed by this. There is a part of her that misses her past, and I like that. I like it because it's more realistic and it's just more interesting, rather than her just being like, okay, well, I'm a good guy now, because nothing's ever that simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we get that moment right at the end where Crichton's like, I missed your heart, and she's like, it's close.
That she had she had her Ellen Ripley gun back.
I'm a sucker for that, for that subtextual, whatever you call it. I love that stuff.
There was vibes.
Absolute vibes. She wanted him, and he wanted her, and I get it.
And I think they both. That was to my mind, for a lot of that. That went 3 ways.
But I will.
Really? Oh, okay. That's okay.
When John was in the room, there was a vibe between the two of them. There was a vibe between that was a throuple in the making. Or at least John and Aaron were considering a guest.
Reciprocal sexual attention. Obviously, Laurent was into her. I read it more as
on a spaceship in the
middle of nowhere. Lifestyle. I read it as she was playing
all these anatomical differences amongst the crew, and then somebody else
falsely. But then what she was actually tempted by was
the standoffs. You didn't pick up on sexual tension between Larak and John in the standoffs?
An officer. She's not a lieutenant. She's just an officer.
No, I didn't, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't often pick up on stuff like that unless it's blatantly obvious.
Well, they were both extremely impressed by Aaron's.
And now here it is. So that's what I read in those scenes.
I both love and hate that line.
That was her
I love it because I hate it, and I hate it because I love it.
I uncomplicatedly love it. But she's talking about the ship, boys.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
and the very large gun.
There could have been those, but yeah.
Yeah,
because yours is not carved from wood.
I'm pretty sure you could take that line however you want to.
I'm not touching that. Low and slow. Nope.
Excuse me.
No.
Okay, Josh, you want to save him and talk about your thoughts on Aaron being able to handle big things?
If this was a checkpoint episode, then it was a very effective checkpoint episode.
I respect that, Josh.
Showed Aaron pretty easily, I would say, rejecting the temptation. She was tempted, unquestionably, but she rejected it, and she stuck with her teammates, and she stuck with Captain Crichton, or Captain Butcher, whatever we want to call him, Captain Leatherpants. Listen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought at first, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But she also, you can tell that she's grown. She's been successfully, if we're going to use a cult metaphor, she's been successfully deprogrammed. Because she's able to poke holes in Larocque's bravado, where, he's like, it's a hunt. And she's like, it's a hunt that's cost you 5 lives. Like, what's the point? And he's like, it's a hunt.
Pourquoi no dos?
And a very pretty tree at that.
Agreed.
Or
that man's jaw, Jesus Christ! Why doesn't my jaw look like that?
Genetics.
She gets to be damseled again. And it's a frustrating trend. She starts out with the Ripley gun, and she ends up being the only one of the crew to actually get hurt. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Jean-Luc Crichton.
She also knows her worth, because we have that wonderful moment when she says, tells him what a mess it is and how it's a grave misfortune that uniform did not fit me.
Oh, yeah.
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 100% agreed. Absolutely.
Mm.
I think it's so noticeable because of how much they play up her badassery, and like show don't tell, but also show how much of a badass she is.
I think
so it's noticeable
in terms of just character and character development or whatnot. I think Aaron is. Easily the most interesting part of this.
Why'd you wait so long? And she's like,
she's the most interesting part in most episodes, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. But that's what I think she meant at the end when she said, when he goes, it missed your heart, and she goes, not by that much. Like her heart.
And her and Dargo are easily the strongest fighters in the crew. And so it just seems shitty and stupid that she gets damseled so much.
Yeah, I think
that was apparent.
We notice her damseling so much because damseling women is so common in the media. It does at least we do tend to see John and Aaron trade off damseling roles, and who is the most competent person in the room. In the last episode, she was extremely competent, which is kind of why she had to be in her own dimension so that and they could do that without actually damseling her and just give her a role that was separate.
To be fair to the show, I think like I've seen damseling done in far shittier ways than it's done here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 And it wasn't necessarily.
I love the bit where she's talking about her flight experience.
Oh, yeah. Because you're just like, yeah, dude, like I've done this, I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, though I read her as tempted by both the job and the boy. Not in like, this is my one true love, but hey, it'd be fun to take a spin.
Roll around in the hay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think she appreciated his appreciation of her.
Right. Yeah, because he was, I mean, yes, he's a peacekeeper and they're the bad guys and whatnot, but he was genuinely into her, not just in like a, a sexual and animalistic way or whatever. He was genuinely like into her as a person, what she could do, like her achievements, her wit, her.
He's not jealous, but he sure does
her
kill
intelligence
that guy
and her experience and whatnot.
And in an uncomplicated way. In a way, he's sort of he's her Jelena.
Yeah.
We had John vibing with
I did find it interesting. I was waiting for a follow-up line.
Which was directed by Tony Kelsey, so I know
the virus had Aaron at knife point.
And they had a connection that was instant and easy.
And it was taunting
John and Aaron's connection is not easy.
Like, oh, he liked you. I was waiting for it to like look over at John and be like, so did you. Like,
whereas
I was waiting for
Lorak
that and
Aaron is easy.
And I'm wondering if Aaron
they do
noticed the same
similar
way
sort
I
of
did.
work. You know, he's so open about liking her, and challenging her in a way she likes, and the kind of, and I do like that John does not act jealous
or throw John liking her in her face.
No, none at all.
There's
it seemed like a bit of a glaring omission.
Concept.
How much of a character beat that was, or if it was
What
simply
is it? Comparison, I think it is, where it's common in poly relationships. Compersion is wholeheartedly participating in the happiness of others.
Aaron liking John or John liking
in that
John.
sense is also like taking pleasure in your partner, taking pleasure in
liking Aaron.
Right, so it's like
else.
giving him a high five as opposed to being like, what?
That to me seems like a
why did you do
omission.
that?
And I'm wondering, like, is that a character
and I think
choice?
we get a little bit of that from John. Like he's not jealous that she's vibing with someone else. Especially as he seems to be kind of vibing with him too. And when he threatened Aaron, yeah.
Yeah,
when
that's fair.
Yeah, because that is now the virus, and the virus stabbed Aaron.
Yeah. That's fair. I didn't think of it like that. I like that.
Yeah, and it doesn't it throws Lorak liking her in her face to make it her. It doesn't throw anything at John to try and make him jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it could have been a cheat it would have been an opportunity for a bit of cheap writing to be like, I'm going to play off your jealousy.
Oh. Okay.
Huh. I think it is doing that what you wanted to do, but kind of in showing, not telling. Like she can see how John is reacting to someone holding her at knife point. We can see how John is reacting to somebody with a knife to Aaron's back. Yeah.
Well, and not just study and learn from it, but try to tame it, control it, and weaponize it. Yeah.
So we have a kind of a checkpoint resetting of things.
I didn't really get a lot of themey stuff.
We have a reintroduction of the peacekeepers.
Wasn't that deep, but it was a whole lot of fun.
Any sort of themey stuff that stands out to anyone?
I did catch a lot of what I feel like was a foreshadowing that was planted.
There's a scene where Aaron asks
there's a secret peacekeeper base in the uncharted territories.
Why they didn't just kill the virus once they captured it. And he says, it wasn't the mission because there's some, powerful higher up somewhere who want to study it and tame it, as he says.
A lot of
so for me, the thing that stood out for me was the idea that
I'll never read these chains again. You sure?
It was sort of casting a bit of a spotlight on
chaos,
mankind's arrogance and how it can be our downfall.
And John and Aaron, once again,
how we. And how sort of in the name of progress and sort of advancement, we will engage in things that are really dangerous or will take huge risks with stuff. It makes me think of how we have these deadly viruses stored away in labs and even how governments will increase military spending to research more powerful weapons so we can kill each other. That's what it made me think about, just how we're sort of arrogant and we will do stupid things because Aaron was absolutely right. They should have just killed it. Boom, dead, done with, no risk. But no, they had to study it and learn from it and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, weaponize it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I did want to bring up was that seeing Crichton punch Zahn, even though it was the virus, that was rough. That was really, really rough. Yeah, because but I also think that was the point where she knew something was up, because I think she just knew that John wouldn't do that. And yeah, it's, even though it was the virus pretending to be John, pretending to be a peacekeeper, that makes me think of in Interview with the Vampire, when they're at the theater, the vampire, and he's like, vampires pretending to be humans, pretending to be vampires. Kind of what was going on here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
How avant-garde.
Similar vibes.
Yeah.
Moya's going to go into
just
space
that was
labor
rough,
and
man.
get
I
space
really
birth,
didn't like that. Even though it wasn't
Grace is
John,
gonna
I
make a
just
reappearance and
I
finally
don't
start
like
closing.
that.
Jack, do you have any thoughts on the seeds that have been planted?
Me? The seeds? What do you mean? Sorry, I don't follow.
Well, Josh just discussed the seeds that he'd seen planted for the rest of the season. Do you have any thoughts?
Not really, because I just don't know what's going to happen at this point. Like every time I think I know what's going to happen, it doesn't happen. So I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. I don't know. I just agree with Josh, I guess.
I still think it would be fun to see if we can get any predictions out of you guys for the next episodes, because we've got a two-parter. They have separate names, but it's two parts of the same story. That I think we are going to discuss as one, although it might end up being 2 episodes of the podcast, and also I want to get us to watch to do a live watch reaction for the patrons of the next episode. So any predictions as to why what might be coming that I am we need to. Yes, I'm
kind of hoping for a showdown with Grace, I guess. Something like that. I think it's going to involve the Peacekeepers, maybe like a big chase across the galaxy. I don't know.
Anytime anything starts to go over in the episode, my first thought is Paul. But I'll be patient.
Mm-hmm. What about if Moya gives birth, but then Moya dies, so the crew has to leave Moya and go on the baby? That, I don't know, just the thought I was having. That would be awful, don't get me wrong, because I love Moya, but I don't know.
So Grace is going to burst
there will be no dying of Moya.
Grace's eyes are going to
Okay. Well, I apologize. It's just a thought. I don't know.
I feel like I would have to give it like extreme trigger warning if you were going to do that.
That's true, yeah. I mean, I didn't necessarily mean dying.
There is a trigger warning for next episode. There is some stuff in it that is a little bit
don't unsubscribe.
Shocking and body horror stuff. But
I like that stuff. As a horror fan, I like that stuff.
Before you say another word,
but we are not going to watch our beloved ship die.
So sorry,
I just think there's going to be a showdown with Grace
coming up soon.
And what's his face? Maybe what's his face will show up again. The guy that is basically Q. I forget his name. Yeah, Maldus. That's it. Yeah. Maybe.
And then
anytime I say, "Do you want to make a prediction?" You guys are going to say
Keeper of the keys.
And that's the thing, gentle viewers. This is my roundabout way of saying I have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen.
It's Rigel and Chiana.
Yeah, it's just fun to see if we can get some, ridiculous wrong answers.
Yeah.
Sarah and I haven't done a duet in a long time.
Weird and ridiculous. Okay, John becomes like supreme. John kills Grace and assumes Grace's position as like the boss of the Peacekeepers. Well, I don't know if he's he's not like Darth Vader, is he? He's like the top guy, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I like that. I like that idea.
He just goes full like dark.
I can't either, so then we'll just both be off key together. I was a percussionist for a reason. Oh my God.
We see each other plain, Monsieur Le Maire. You'll wear a different chain. That's going to be very hard to edit.
Please.
And then they just start waltzing.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by. That was deliberately bad singing. I can sing better than that, but I cannot. I'm not a soprano.
Okay, buddy.
Master of the house, reason with me spit, comforter, philosopher, and lifelong shit.
Yeah.
I kind of hope there's a musical episode now. Come to think of it, because that'd be too great.
Bizarre podcast.
A singing Rigel, that would be amazing.
That's true.
We might have to do our own lame miss Farscape. Maybe next April Fool's Day.
That'd be fun.
No, you can't get on key, because then I would have to, and I can't. So.
This is going to be great.
Okay, well, no, the next episode is not it's not the crew of Farscape singing Les Mis. As much as fun as that would be.
Can I bring up one little thing too? This episode was called A Bug's Life, yeah?
Yeah.
Where there was no bugs. Like, I was really disappointed. I was expecting like Starship Troopers or something buggy. Like, there's this weird looking gooey thing in the box, but
bug is in virus. It's a bug.
I mean, I get that, but I don't know. I was just really disappointed. I'm like, where's the bug? But no, I get that, but it just, I don't know. I wanted like actual bugs. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. We already had actual bugs in
like
the one where Rigel goes up the cloaca.
Go up the cloaca? That's never a phrase I thought I would ever hear in my life. Go up the cloaca.
It's been a little while since we've been together, folks. We are
Go up the cloaca. Sara Ezzat 2022.
we are going a little loopy.
Oh God!
So
I just wanted to hear you crying and be like, "I am a cute little bumblebee," but we didn't get that. I'm sorry. The thing, this was very clearly an homage to it's considered like a masterclass in suspense. I mean, made by one of the most prolific horror directors in the genre. Even though this is it's less than half the time of a feature length most of the time. It's a much smaller budget. I couldn't help but compare it to The Thing, and that's part of the reason why this episode didn't land for me, because as I said before, I've just seen this done better so many times. And we get that scene at the end, the little standoff showdown thing where everything goes all like slow motion-y. The slow motion to me just felt really like clunky. It made it feel really, really clunky, but I get the feeling that it was done to slow down all of those cuts, because there's so many cuts in that sequence. And so, look, I don't know what they could have done.
It's so
better.
easy to do an homage to it.
I can't prove it all, obviously, but I think
it's a locked room
the slow motion was an afterthought, because they filmed it and realized that there was
everybody's locked in the room with the murder.
That sequence in particular didn't work.
But like
for me, really,
I didn't mind.
Yeah, I think it's when they're trying to establish that John is touching everybody.
Star Trek,
kind of difficult to do that.
It'd be hard. I'm definitely not saying that it would have been an easy thing to figure out. No, it wouldn't have been.
I think this is one of the things when you're playing with tropes, as Farscape likes to do.
It's a framework.
Sometimes
it's not necessarily
the trope eats you.
the ending of itself.
Sometimes,
I enjoyed it.
You defeat the trope, and sometimes you get swallowed by the trope. And this was one of those ones where, like, the reference is too specific and too well done.
Exactly. I couldn't not compare it. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, and as well, I do enjoy it. This episode, I enjoy it mostly for the ridiculous flirting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't and like I said in the beginning of our episode here, there is so much that I did like about this. It's just that as an homage to The Thing, I didn't enjoy it because it just didn't work all that well. But then we had that scene directly after with the alkaline injection thing, which is pretty much straight up lifted from the blood test scene in The Thing. Again, a masterclass in suspense, and this just maybe they weren't going for the same thing, but I just didn't feel any suspense at all in that scene. I don't know, didn't feel it. Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely doing its own thing. Yeah. I just think that for me, I've just seen this story done elsewhere, not just in the Thing. Like, it's been done in a lot of stuff, and I just feel like this is probably my least favorite way I've seen this story told. Again, I don't want to be too harsh, though, because it's a 40-minute TV show on a pretty small budget, produced in Australia. I get it, I get it.
So my Lady in the Water. Shamey moment is to admit that despite being a film nerd, I have not actually watched The Thing yet.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're not into horror, it's rough. It is very, very rough.
That's the thing. I'm very picky about what horror, as much as I love the film of
always
horror,
describe things like that.
Stuff. There are some images I don't want in my head.
Well, the amazing thing about the Thing, it's full of like body horror and all that crazy stuff, but it's all done practically. And so I think as a film nerd, I think it's sort of essential viewing because it's just so impressive of what they were able to achieve. Lots of like puppets and just really, really interesting stuff going on there, and just how they did it is fascinating. They did a remake where they made it all CG, and it was terrible.
Of course, it would be terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, The Thing. You're not a horror fan, so I think you might struggle with it quite a lot. I mean, I can struggle with it, and I love horror. It's pretty full on.
I like, if you're going to do sort of horror-y type stuff, I want to take it in the direction of The Shape of Water.
Oh, okay.
And not just because I prefer to be horny for monsters than chased by them, but like because I'm a horror, like I'm a monster theory person. I love like monsters as a representation of outsiders and all of that says, and so I'm always gonna go for the love the monster. Or
The Shape of Water was Shyamalan, right?
No, it was Del Toro.
Oh, Del Toro. What am I getting?
It is the most Del Toro.
Yeah, no. Lady in the Water, that's what I'm thinking of,
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Shape of Water is the romancing the fish man.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds very Del Toro, just putting it like that.
There's more to it than that, but there is definitely there is. Oh, I wrote written whole papers on that film because there's so much there about like the treatment of others and othering and
to people what
who is the monster
and
all that.
And corrupts them.
And there is also Bang
and
the
it makes the cells work for the virus.
Banging the fish man.
But
so like,
other than that, viruses don't work like this. Viruses can't make spores. Spores are much bigger than viruses.
I'm pretty sure it's non-verbal consent, but it's definitely consensual.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
You have to see it. It is actually.
It sounds gorgeous, and I've been meaning to see it.
It is one of my all-time favorite films.
Okay.
And it is incredibly. It's incredibly romantic, despite it being. Doug Jones in a fish suit.
Can we talk about the virus itself for a second?
Okay. Well, we're talking about romancing non-human things.
I'm a Star Trek fan, so I know when we talk on
I love the idea of an
intelligent
virus, like a virus that is completely self-aware to the point where it can scheme.
Yeah, I'm a fun guy, so
it can evade, like all of that stuff. That's really, really, really clever. It's not only aware of its own existence, but the existence of others and whatnot. I don't think I've seen that before, I am
very glad this is not a thing that could exist in real life, because I don't know about you guys, but I am done with viruses mutating.
I feel your sister. Whew.
We do not need one that becomes, smart, sentient, and body hopping.
I just thought it was a really fascinating premise that I don't think I've really seen before, and so props. Yeah, kudos.
Sure. I'll tell you something that pulled me out, Jack. The props in this episode were a little plasticky. The stasis gun, and then the giant.
No, that's not how it works.
Syringe,
Unless we can hand wave it with the whatchamacallit, the translator microbes are translating the gist of virus and spore.
And it just broke like a plastic toy would break.
Well, yeah, but then like, why doesn't translate?
That's the get out of jail free card we got for anything. Is like, it's close enough. No, this isn't how viruses work.
But then why doesn't it translate? What the frill to what the fuck or whatever? When nitpicking
our translator microbes do that when we hear it. No, it's really not. And
the spores are typically associated with fungi and stuff, right? So
and if you actually did, yes, that was a very bad pun. and if they actually are gestating for an hour and then you suddenly produce mass amounts, in no time at all, the entire universe would be the intelligent virus.
My favorite part was
it's just not. That's not how things are. But
it spreads in the same way and everything.
Fiction isn't answerable to life. It's answerable.
No. Yeah, and it was pretty unique. I don't think I've seen it done that way before, and so I appreciate that.
Yeah, we do kind of sometimes give sentience and personify viruses.
Same, yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Stasis gun?
I noticed that too. Yeah.
Pipette? Yeah, the stasis gun is very proppy prop.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a pretty good episode.
So my favorite part is where Crichton orders Pilot to start Starburst, and they ignite the cesium fuel, and then boom! It was just a cool,
Lani Dian Rich
fun
of Chipperish
John
Radio?
McClane Rambo moment that I thought was just really cool. I don't know, it was almost, it seemed like John, like flicking a cigarette in the fuel or something. I don't know, that's what it came across like to me.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother frellers.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly what it was, yeah, and I love that. Josh, what about you, sir?
My favorite part is Aaron talking about learning to fly.
Yeah,
why'd you have to wait so long? I have to wait for my... Like, it's just the way that she delivers that line. I have to wait for my feet to hit the pedals. Like, damn. No wonder he's smitten. I'm smitten. We're all smitten. Yeah. So, we are left with the pieces. There is a base somewhere in the area. There is Aaron in recovery. There is peacekeepers in the area, and at that we are going to the next episode. Is called Nerve, which we will release in 2 weeks. Because it's a two-parter, we will also be discussing the episode The Hidden Memory. And I will edit this out if the information is incorrect, but hopefully we shall be joined by story expert and friend of the podcast, Lani Dian Rich. Woo! Indeed, Lani Dian Rich of Chipperish Media, because I asked her months and months ago to come for this episode.
Lani Dian Rich as in my friend / boss? Wow.
Yes, your boss is going to join us.
I'll be on my best behavior.
Sounds weird to say out loud.
For the patrons, we will also be recording our reaction to watching Nerve.
Over on Instagram.
I don't know if we'll be able to record watching both. That might be a little bit difficult to stretch to. But we will definitely at least watch Nerve together, and you guys will get to see the guy's reaction to that. So, if you want to see that reaction, you will have to sign up for the Patreon.
Patreon.com/Muppet Sex and Trauma? Is that
indeed. And the link will be in the doobly-doo.
Because you're the host, you're the moderator,
there will be other links as
producer.
well, because down there will also be how you can contact us.
I'm just over on Instagram.
How can people find you, Jack?
You can find me on Twitter at Lack of Surprise 1. That's all one word with the number 1 at the end. You can find me over on our Discord server. And you can also check out my work with Chipperish Media, the lovely Dian Rich, on the Endless podcast. She's going through the Neil Gaiman Sandman comics. And you can also check out the work I do with my friend Ian Martin from Passion of the Nerd. We have a podcast of the Nerds. It's been on hiatus for a little while, but we're bringing it back. And we also do a bi-weekly live stream that you can come and check out on Passion of the Nerd. Josh, what about you, sir? Where can people find you? He's in all of us. Okay, he's inside me,
last,
okay?
Javert.
You can be inside me, Josh.
Always,
and
baby, always. Always, honey, always.
Look at that beard. Like, Jesus Christ.
I guess that makes me the and or the.
You are the and that brings it all together.
I guess that is the definition of a producer.
Yeah. And you're just a wonderful person.
Oh, I've missed you, boys.
Mm-hmm. And Sarah, what about you, my love?
And you can find me at the Costume Codex channel on YouTube, or on Twitter under Blue Stock in Sara, And I also will be having a new podcast at some point in the future that our friend Ren and I have been working on. We don't have a launch date yet, because it's actually my thesis project for university. We recorded a podcast, so we'll have to deal with handing that in before we figure out a release schedule. But yeah, we've been playing around with something. It is indeed YouTuber Ren the Barbarian.
Wow.
Yeah, they and I have been playing around with something. So yeah, join us in 2 weeks to discuss 2 episodes, Nerve and the Hidden Memory. After we've done that, we will then be talking about Bone to be Wild. Will be the one that comes after that.
Bone to be Wild. That's punny. I like it.
It is very punny. Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, friends. We'll see you next time.
You don't have to write yourself these tongue twitchers, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of fun.
What does I have fun? I would like a cleaning pan, please.